And we feel this is a great opportunity for us. And although we are still learners, but we were early movers into AI. And we work with AI at three levels. So one is internally, where we are looking at efficiencies, workflows, decision making, reallocating the resources. The second is at the participant level. We are today one of the largest NGOs in the country, and we are the largest in the skilling employability space and in the education space. And this year we will work with close to 40 lakh adolescent and 3.5 lakh youth, majority of them being girls. And so we believe in inclusive growth. And we talk about basically building agency and seeing that they live a successful life in the school life, personal life, and work life. uh, Again, I think AI is not transformational, it is disruptive. And I don't think there's behavior change which is required for AI, and I feel that it is mindset change which is required to take up AI. It's a great opportunity, and I just wanted to kind of thank all of you for joining us, all the panelists and also the audience. Welcome, and look forward to having all these wonderful leaders. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayant. So, first of all, I again want to welcome the audience because we are live streaming. I know we have got lots of folks out there who have joined us, who are all connected in some way or the other with this sector. So, welcome again to all the live audience, and of course to the participants here in the Bharat Mandapam. So, actually, this panel which we are hosting today is the grand finale. We hosted 5 events as a part of the pre-summit event in Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Hyderabad, discussing the same topic. And I think it's a very, very relevant topic, which is how do we get the AI talent ready and build a very robust pipeline. And we being from social sector, obviously our focus is how do we ensure that that AI talent has a very large component of young people from the underprivileged households. So we had some very fantastic insights. We had very eminent panels in all these locations, and we want to thank the management of and the ministry to give us this opportunity to host this panel here and reach out to a larger audience. So I will start with Dr. Narendra. You were a part of our panel in Hyderabad. You were a keynote speaker then. You gave some very fantastic insights. Dr. Narendra heads the AI incubation center within NIRD, so has a very deep understanding of AI. So the question to you, and this question comes more from you as a bureaucrat, is India has multiple skilling and AI strategies running in parallel. We have taken a very lead right from the Prime Minister leading it from the front. What are the 2 top policy shifts needed now, in your view, to ensure that AI talent readiness reaches tier 2 and 3 and doesn't stay at tier 1? And also very important, reaches out to a larger component woman on scale.
I think that's a very interesting question, Arun, and thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to participate in this discussion. It's very, very important, topical. There's so many discussions happening on AI, on technology, so on, but not so much on the skilling. So what kind of an upskilling and skilling is needed? There are a few sessions, but here we're trying to connect the two. The how do we move forward with AI, at the same time connect it with the skilling ecosystem? As you said, there are 2 parallel streams, and how do we really ensure that they are well connected? That's a key aspect. So one important thing that when we talk about AI that we need to realize is that people are talking about various types of AI and AI technologies, building AI and so on. But still, it is very early days of AI implementation, execution, and taking forward AI with a good, in corporate terms, getting a good rate of return over the AI investments. So it's early days for AI. That's something that we really realize. It's not that, look, it's a still a mature technology, a mature implementations that we can really find good kind of skills which will go into the AI applications or into AI enterprise applications or into the. So that's something that we need to be cognizant of. But at the same time, we are talking about a technology which is a general purpose technology. There's so much that it has applications across the board, across various sectors, across various segments, and something that is going to be disruptive, as Jayant mentioned. So, taking that in, keeping that in mind, we need to be aware of the skilling requirements, and I think there is no concrete framework for skilling to meet with AI. I think that is something, that's a policy shift I'd like to see. We're having a skill qualification framework, but AI
Yeah.
based skill qualification framework is an important change that I would like to look to, with various things. AI means various things. AI needs means that not so much the IT skills, because approximately 10% of the workforce, AI driven workforce, will be in building the AI applications, models, etc., which anyway I think more or less reaching maturity. But the application part of those models is the key. Application and execution requires that kind of a skill qualification framework which needs to be developed. That's one important policy shift I would like to look to. Another important thing, that aspect, when we talk about AI, is when we talk about AI being majorly being driven in the application arena, in the execution arena, we have to understand that it is not so much technology which is going to be a major differentiator and driver for AI applications. It's more the domain knowledge and domain capabilities that become important in the AI age. Because even yesterday's panels we were discussing, they said that look, for every uh, let's say 1 rupee of return which is coming in AI technologies, 10% return is likely to come from application of those
Yeah.
technologies. And that's where the importance of domain specific capabilities are necessary. And when we talk about AI, there are various issues, as you know, hallucinations coming from AI, and then the human in the loop person to be able to distinguish between what is a genuine AI in output coming from AI and what is not a genuine output coming from AI, which requires fine distinction and good quality thinking, which, and I would say that only an expert is capable of doing. An expert only can distinguish between what is a genuine output from AI from an LLM and not a genuine output. So now the challenge is, how do we get the those who are entering the workforce to look at those outputs from the AI models like an expert? That's going to be the challenge. So one key way could be to say that look, instead of enabling with the generic skills, etc., which is important in addition to generic foundation skills, the productivity skills that we endow them with, but they also need to be endowed with domain specific knowledge on how AI can be applied in a specific domain. For that, they have to work with an expert first as an apprentice. I think that's an important policy shift I'd like to look to see, that how do we develop apprenticeship systems for AI skilling, not just the classroom training, but also apprenticeship, so that they can uh, look to mentoring from the experts and then be able to apply their skills effectively in the organization. Across, basically, we're looking at automation, we're looking at augmentation of skills. I mean, when we talk about augmentation of skills, we're looking at, some of the manually skilled workers. They are not so much in the knowledge arena, so they can benefit very substantially from AI knowledge and upgrading themselves. For instance, many skilled workers look to YouTube to find good ways of working. Similarly, they would look to AI to improve their capabilities. That's something which I think they would not be replaceable. They would continue to flourish. How can we augment their capabilities? Similarly, automation is going to do away with a number of people who are involved with repetitive tasks, such as data entry operators, such as entry level accountants, and so on. So, how do we sort of channelize them into another other arenas is something that we need to look at. And also, agencyfication is something which is again going to be a replacer for many skills which are available. Taking all these into consideration, how do we find good apprenticeship systems for those who have fundamental and foundational skills in AI to be able to thrive. That's, I think, another important policy shift. These are therefore the two important policy shifts that I think are very much necessary in today's context. That is to have a good AI-based skill qualification framework and a good apprenticeship system based on AI. Those are the two important policy shifts I'd like to see.
Thank you, Dr. Narendra. I think you always speak wisely. I remember your keynote speech in Hyderabad.
Thank you.
So I think there are some very significant takeaways, and I think the government of India also, if we all read in the newspapers, is focused on. I think the key is to get that qualification framework for AI. I think it's absolutely the need of the hour, because then it puts in that structure, that process to say, and qualification frameworks have served us very, very well in the skilling space, and I think I completely endorse that. I think the government is also thinking seriously on that. And I think your point on two other points which caught my attention is apprenticeship. I think application of what you learn is best done through apprenticeship. I think government is pushing that. I'm sure they will do that on AI. I think that's another good point. And third, I think you touched base to say there are masses who likely will get displaced. So what do you do about them? And I think there has to be a very strong policy around how do we retain them, how do we upskill them. And I think that is where the AI for masses is something which is as strongly relevant today. And in Magic Bus today, being one of our larger skilling organizations in this sector, we have taken up that spot, AI for masses, and I think there are lots of big donors, including Infosys, who are supporting us in this endeavor. We shouldn't forget the common man; they shouldn't be left behind in this whole opportunity race for AI. Thank you, Dr. Narendra. Um, Kapil, you have this great opportunity of having worked with lots of youth in your organization. You are the largest, one of the largest job aggregators and staffing companies. So the a question to you, and you have a very inside view, being the CEO of the organization of Kest Corp. And the question is very relevant. What are the AI-driven job roles that will scale fastest in India beyond tech roles? We all know tech is high demand. People with AI, tech, get jobs as on yesterday. But we are not talking that. We are talking the other masses. In the next 2 to 3 years perspective, what should all ecosystem partners, we are a part of that same ecosystem, do to build the talent pool for these job roles?
Yes.
So we are talking the non-tech roles right now.
Actually, tricky for me because I manage IT staffing business.
Yeah, I know.
Take demand only, but since we are working with almost 200 plus GCC, I understand what all product they are developing, what is the application layer, and how it is going to impact the various function. So first and most important thing, when you talk about AI impact, the the question comes, what is the job impact, right?
Correct.
So in my view, definitely, the biggest impact of AI is on the job. Your job roles are evolving, your responsibility are getting transformed. Okay, your workflow are getting changed. Okay, uh, and all this is happening because organization is looking for productivity gain. Right? They want efficiency. Okay, and that is where you see most of the early POC of the AI is happening for productivity gain, right? And this productivity gain will come from operational jobs basically. Your account payable,
Correct.
account receivable, your supply chain management, inventory management. Okay,
The front-ending jobs.
yes,
Yeah.
correct. So those are routine jobs like
Yes.
data entry, where you take rule-based decision which AI can also make. Okay, these jobs and workflow is going to get impacted, right? Impact in terms of the productivity, in terms of the efficiency, right? My personal view is that will it translate into FTE reduction? No.
No. Oh, okay.
If you see uh, history, okay, uh, we talk about laid off, and there are various reasons about layoff, but one need to understand this is inflection point for India. Why? We missed the manufacturing bus. We delayed the globalization. but this is our moment.
Mm.
We can seize this opportunity. Trust me, what we missed in manufacturing, what we missed because of the delayed globalization, AI can bring that wealth, AI can bring that value to us. But the question in front of us, that will it be only for few, or will it be
Yeah,
for
that's the
everyone?
question.
So I think what is more important today is that AI should not create any divide in the society, and that is where I think Magic Bus is doing good job. Mr. Selendra is doing great job in the rural areas. That can we bring AI literacy to everyone, whether he is working in IT or non-IT, and more importantly, non-IT. Because a finance guy, a lawyer, or a supply chain guy will, or a procurement guy will be impacted more. How soon we can train them, how soon they can adjust with the revised workflow, how soon they can adopt. Because I have seen the biggest problem today, Arun, is that people know that AI is impacting their job, but they are not adaptive. They are not changing themselves. They are resistive to use that AI tool
Mm.
because they have fear of losing job. I think they should take it to their advantage. Okay, so that is one thing. And how does it happen? That obviously a lot of reskilling required within the organization. First thing is that we have to protect the people who are already in the workforce, right? So lot of reskilling required based on your AI journey, organizational AI journey. You have to rework on role, you have to rework on responsibility, and then you have to, if there is any FTE reduction, you also need to plan reskilling and redeployment of these resources in some other work, right? That is very important. Second thing is that uh, you know entry level job is getting impacted, and entry level job is getting impacted because only functional job is not enough right now. Whatever knowledge you have or one can have, even a PhD scholar, it is already there in LLM, right? So they are as much as knowledgeable as any PhD scholar. But now question here is that how do you use this models? Okay, and is everyone using it effectively, efficiently for his productivity gain? So I think functional, like Mr. Selen said, uh, they need AI literacy. They need to understand that how to use AI tool for their own productivity and efficiency. So uh, in nutshell, I think reskilling will be the key. Okay. uh, Hire, train, deploy model, NAPS, apprentice. One thing I want to add on what Mr. Salen said, that can we have a better partnership with between corporate and academia. Okay, let's say for example, 5 years back, India started teaching programming in the school, right? But today, we don't need a programmer. The probably by 2030, 100% coding will be done by AI. 30% coding last year is done by AI. So we don't need coder, we don't need programmer, right? We need people who has a functional knowledge and who can use AI to be more productive and more good. Can we change our curriculum fast? Can we remove the programming and bring some AI literacy to the school and college level? Okay. That is where this partnership will work. Second is, can GCC and startup work together? That is also a good ecosystem from where I have seen a lot of entry level jobs get entry through the startup model. Okay, if GCC and startup work together, I'm sure the learning curve will be far better. Okay, so there are a lot of initiative which we are taking, and and we see the impact also.
Yeah. So thank you, Kapil. There are a lot of takeaways from what you mentioned. I think you're an optimist.
Very
That
much.
you will not, frontline guys will not lose jobs. We are an optimist. I'm sure the whole panel is here, everyone. And
So,
I guess, I
so
guess,
Arun, just to add on this, I always say, uh, probably when wheel was invented, or when industrialization happens, factories came, people have a fear of losing job. When electricity came,
yeah,
people have fear of losing job. When computer came, people have fear of losing job. When internet came, they have fear of losing the jobs.
yeah,
But you see, all this evolution happen in the history actually created more value,
yes,
right?
that's
And AI
absolutely,
evolution will have a bigger impact because it's touching across the industry, across the role.
yes. So I think we also subscribe to be saying that AI will be an opportunity and it will add value like it has done. Various technology disruptions have done in the past. Let me just cite one example. Uh, as a forward-looking organization, we got Bain to do a study for us, and this is interesting to share with the audience. We do 350,000 training for 8 job roles in service sector, and we place 80% of them in jobs. So it's a huge number, and we are a responsible organization. Say, what happens if 6 of them jobs go off? Where are these young guys going to be left? Forget about what happens to Magic Bus. So we got Bain to do a 3-4 month study for us, and of course, being a non-profit, they did it on pro bono basis. So I just want to put that as a caveat. We can't afford their fees, but they are kind enough. They did a very extensive study, and what they came back is out of the 8 job roles like data entry could face pressure, but all the other job roles, in fact, will expand and thrive, except that they will go one notch above. So the young person must have a little better skills than what they're having now. Uh, Decisions to see whether there's error or a bias in the output of the AI, or take a decision based on the AI. So analytics is going to be a very important. And for us in social sector, that is very good, because when you get to that higher level skills and higher level jobs, it means higher level salary. And for that person, a higher level salary means living that notch up a better dignified life. So we are optimists. We believe that AI will be an opportunity for not only the techies and those who have technology understanding, of course, is going to be them, but for the masses too. So we believe in this, but we need to work, as you said, with the ecosystem to upskill them so that they don't start drifting away. And I guess we have a great experience of doing that. We right now train 135,000 young people in jobs, a large number from support from organizations like Infosys and others. And the way these young people have adapted to AI and the way they are building use cases is amazing. And we have a demo and a stall here, which actually is demoing. Young people have come here and they're demoing some of the use cases, and they haven't even heard the word called AI. So that is that is where I think we drive this whole confidence that we would be an AI, a global leader in AI in the application front and usage front. So thank you, Kapil, for this wonderful insight. Nupur, you head the livelihood um, in Reliance, and whatever Reliance does on a mega scale. So we have the great opportunity of working with Reliance Foundation. We do about 100,000 young people we skill with their funding. The question to you, and you are very strong inside you of what the youth needs from the underprivileged household. So the question to you is, Reliance has the reach to scale skilling nationally. Dr. Narendra said the key policy tip is skilling young people. And I think Reliance, like Infosys, has that ability to skill. Infosys, I know, is already doing it through your skills springboard platform. Question is, and you also have a great platform, digital platform right now you introduced. So the question to you is, Reliance has the reach to scale, skilling nationally. How do you see CSR evolving from a training numbers? It's a very interesting question. Training numbers to AI talent pipeline, especially for the youth from the low income communities.
So thank you, Arun, for the question. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Magic Bus. I think that we are at a very interesting juncture where we've reached a tipping point. Of course, the nature of jobs is going to change and what we do is going to change. But what is of interest to us at a big extent is that the life cycle of a job is changing. So so let me just explain this, Arun. So the way we are looking at outcome matrix has changed in over the past year. Last year, we would be very happy if we said we've trained 100,000 people and we've given certificates to 100,000 people. 100,000 people have got jobs. Now, our worry is that the 100,000 that we've trained, 6 months later, their jobs are going to change. The job that they have is going to completely change. And so then we'll have to retrain and reskill them.
Good point.
So now this piece of skilling needs to be looked at from a very meta macro level, where it is something from the advent of AI that is affecting all of us. It is going to affect the gray collar jobs, the blue collar job, the white collar jobs. You just spoke about Bain, and there was just study about how, the entire consulting is going to be disrupted, and the lawyers are going to be disrupted, the medicine is going to be disrupted.
Right.
And so I think that that's the perspective that we need to look at it. The way we are looking at AI is that it is here to stay. It is going to be exactly take the shape of how we had the internet, we had the mobile connectivity. We see every young person, old person, all age groups use AI, if not now, very soon. I think that the important key here is that how are we preparing people to be ready, not just for adoption and to begin with, but also really look at use cases from their own specialization, because everybody sort of brings a lot of value, from a specialization point of view. I think the other important key that we need to be prepared is that in a lifespan, people are going to have multiple careers, probably 2 or 3 in a decade. We do a lot of work in modern retail, and we were just sort of looking at a young person's journey from modern retail. A young person who joins the retail shop today as a stockist, or as somebody on a cashier, can soon change to being an analyst, right? Look at consumer psychology, look at the patterns, look at the trends, etc. And very soon the same person could work with rural entrepreneurs and support them in forecasting trends, looking at supply chain management, etc., etc. So this hop is going to be very, very effective. So I think that from our foundations point of view, we are really looking at it as a macro at a macro level, and really seeing how we could sort of scale this, which sort of goes just beyond the skilling pipeline to actually just AI living, people living with AI, people using it on a daily basis.
No, I think Nupur, I completely endorse your thinking. You just had this wonderful workshop in the Reliance Gansoli campus, and I think we touched upon a few of these. I think there are some things we know where AI will take us, some we don't know. But I think one of the nice things to do is, apart from being an optimist, it's also good to start worrying, because worry gets you to bring in some solutions. And I think one of the things which we have now started talking in Magic Bus is, how do we take AI to the rural? How do we take AI to the masses? How do we ensure that young people whom we are placed in jobs, 7 lakhs, will survive and not go? And 7 lakhs is a representative. I'm sure there are many more. I think these are the things which we should worry, and I think we should sit together as an ecosystem partners who have made this deep inroads into the skilling space, especially these people who are the most vulnerable, the young people from underprivileged households who just started living in dignity. Imagine if they lose their job. They've just come out of poverty and then they go back to poverty. That's the worst thing which can happen for the country like us. So I think there are lots of stuff, but what I take away from you is, yes, that we should start worrying about things beyond usage, to see how we can make sure they embed in jobs. And one of the things which we are convinced, and I think it was also come out in one of the pre-events, is that today I think people who will survive is not only one who knows how to use AI. Of course, either you develop an AI or use an AI tool for productivity, but how do you work alongside AI tools? How do you make sure that you solve problems? How do you make sure that you have that resilience to learn to de-learn and then learn again? And those are the universe of life skills. So when we do our program of AI, we always say AI doesn't work without life skills, or what Reliance calls or Infosys calls the 21st century skills. So I think we need to start talking about those. But if we do those both, I think people will be able to transit to different jobs, figure out a way to survive. And I guess Indians are very good in surviving. So I'm again an optimist here in that sense. So thank you, Nupur, for bringing in an additional insight about and putting on the table, which we can then collate and work on it later on after the panel is done. Okay, Neha, you work for Shell India, right? Okay, someone said Shell Foundation, so it's Shell India. Okay, so Shell is of course a global brand, global known, one of who've been there for more than a century, not a decade, and you do some wonderful work. We are very fortunate to work with Shell. So, question to you is: Shell operates globally. What are the global best practices you see for making underserved youth AI ready that India can adopt quickly? So, I know you work in India, you're focused in India, but I think working in a multinational, the advantage is you get to know good practices which you and you can even make this for your own employees or whatever. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Arun. And first of all, thanks to Magic Bus for hosting us and having us here. I think your question.
And Neha comes from Delhi, so she has a hop, skip, and jump to come here.
No, really far.
We took a long journey out.
Took me a long time. Yeah. Okay. I think before I answer the question around best practice, and when I first heard your question, it immediately took me back to a memory in 90s when, as a kid, I was having my lunch, and on Doordarshan there was a news that these mobiles are going to come, and your landlines are going to get changed. I think a lot of people in the room can resonate, those who have transformed from landline to mobile. And at that point of time, if somebody would have asked the people at that point of time that what a best practice will look like, will be perhaps ensuring connectivity to everybody. People can make call, maybe cheaper calls, but the real best practice of that phone was that now today it's a bank for people who cannot really go out. It is a device to study. It's something which really changed how the education system works. So the disruption of and the real impact of it came so much later. And something similar to what Dr. Naren just said, that we are in such a early stage to just say that what is the best practice. It's so early right now because a lot is happening, and I must admit, a lot of colleagues, a lot of companies, a lot of industries, government, they're doing a fantastic job right now, including government of India. So we are so prepared. We had our AI first strategy, I think, in 2018. We have our AI mission ready. We have Atal Innovation Mission. Everything is ready. But is that a best practice yet? I think too early to say. However, there will be some formulas which, if come together, will perhaps lead to a best practice or a best case scenario for, I think, everybody who is in the field. One is AI is not the only disruption which is active for this generation right now. There are three disruptions which are at play, which is, of course, automation and AI. Second is your demographic changes. Some countries globally are rapidly becoming younger, some are rapidly becoming older. So the necessity and how it will be applied will be very different. Third at the play is decarbonization and the entire energy transition conversation which is happening. Whoever will be able to bring these three disruptions together is where the best practice will come. A lot of us are from the development sector, and of course will understand the language of affordability, accessibility, and availability, and I think that formula still holds true for most of us. Some of the things which will happen, I think, and most important is, and if you look back at the countries which are looking more ready from a AI lens, such as some of the European countries and all, something which is working in their favor is they already have a skilled force. And this skill force is not which got ready overnight. It is something which happened in years of a very strong foundational education system which has a strong focus on STEM. Now if you look at our education system, our old order is falling or has fallen because there are two things at play. Your machine is learning every day at a very fast stage, whereas your teachers, which is the most important pillar, was trained at a time perhaps at the B.Ed or at at a level when very strong NGOs like Magic Bus and others, they come in, they provide training, and government also provide timely training. But is that enough? Because now everything is changing on an annual basis, on a quarterly basis, and our, especially the government system, if I see even the ITI, Polytechnic, government engineering colleges, or your school systems, our teachers are not just teaching, they're also part of many other things which government is doing, like whether it's a polio drive, whether it's a census drive and all. We have to really free up their time to invest in their own skilling so that they stay relevant for the students they're going to teach. So I think that's something which we really need to see, and a best practice from an education system we need to adopt. The second bit is, some people will certainly get more impacted than others, and we have to have that line of sight on those people. Some people, like, my co-panelist just said that, when so many new, like whether it was internet or new technology and invention came in, there was opportunity, but there were also people who got immediately impacted. So, like, if I come back to, let's say, my mobile phone to smartphone, there was a humongous group of people who overnight, like, lost their jobs because all they knew to know, or all they knew was just how to repair the mobiles, and they were the first one to lose. And similarly, like, as transition will happen, we have a mega force of various category of people who will lose, like, jobs or will get impacted. So I think we need to have an immediate cover to ensure that how our impact is softer. It will be there, but we can soften the blow on that subgroup of people. I think third point is, and I think again, something which is very generational. It was always like, oh, like, all the bright one goes for engineering and maths and everything, and, like, if you're not doing great, go for humanities. But now time is changing, right? We, like, from STEM to STEAM. It is the time of STEAM. We have to really leap really fast into ensuring that this is a STEAM time, because all, where will your creativity, your application, your critical thinking, everything will come, because when you have a very strong base where people can apply themselves differently, and they're not like doing everything in the same way how AI is doing. Then is, of course, the diversification of job, and Kapil, you also touched about it. It is, your first ladder is gone. Like, how people used to get jobs is gone. Like, a standard model, you come out from you take a training or a good vocational institute, or like any other institute, you come out, you get a job. In the job, you get the training, and then you move to the next level. Now you have to prepare a workforce which is ready for the second rung, because the bottom rung is gone. And secondly, the people will not keep doing something what Nupur said. Like, people will not keep doing the same thing. Something what we guys are so used to, of it, like HR, legal, finance. No, things will get mixed up. Today you are doing it, tomorrow you'll be doing something else, because your AI will take care of a lot of things. So how we are ensuring that domain knowledge is still there, but at the same time you're growing up in the career. And especially important when you talk about a vulnerable youth. A lot of us who are in the skilling sector, we will reckon with this, that most of our best case studies or individuals we really take pride that they have moved are the first generation of job seekers or job getters. They have never seen a system where, like, their parents were there in the job or they were aware of it. A lot of conversation around AI which is happening in this room, they have no clue, because there is no that kind of exposure. So how do you actually bring back, like, a person you pick up, you train? And that's where I think a lot of curriculum and other changes will bring in. I'll quickly cover two more points. One is also admitting that one subgroup which will get more impacted than other will be women and girls. So, and why so? Because in all these years, the progress which we made was still around ensuring that these women and girls get into the jobs. So, but we got them the job, and the STEM bus was still picking up the pace, and in between came the AI. What happened? Because your majority of women and girls are still in administrative and clerical jobs, which will be the one will get really impacted. And this is where I think, we have to rethink, and that's again, a best practice will look like a model which will have an eye on that. And then my last point will be around labor intensive sectors. Let's also see which are those labor intensive sectors where we will continue to have jobs, irrespective of AI. And that's where I think a lot of work which is happening by foundations, by government, by other associates, to ensure that at least the continuum of job is there, because we are investing in those aspects. And my last point is something which I haven't heard so far, and was having an interesting conversation yesterday in the office, is there's so much anxiety and so much psychosocial impact of AI. It is the right time we also initiate discussion around mental well-being, because AI is not just
Wonderful.
something which is happening in
Yes.
silo. To have a generation, to have a group of employees who are happy, who are satisfied and are not impacted is mental health. This is a bus I think we missed in so many years, and so I see that mental health still sits as a separate component whenever we plan things, but I think this is a high time we see it as an integrated component of a great skilling program. So I'll stop here. Arun, back to you.
Okay.
I've been asked not to. Arun told me बीच में बिल्कुल मत बोलना, but I can't help it. I really loved what you said. About STEAM. I think that's a very important point at Magic Bus. We believe in it, and we've rolled out a program with STEAM. We believe it's very, very important.
Yeah. So, Neha, you made my job as a moderator more difficult, because there are so many insights you have given. So it's pretty complex for me to summarize them. But I think what you did wonderfully is, the question was, what are the current good practices? You just flipped it and made it projected good practices. I think very difficult to do, but wonderful. And I think I completely, and you brought in a lot of other aspects which normally we don't talk about as a part of our AI discussions. I think absolutely AI will increase anxieties, will increase the and mental health being is, I think, very critical from that perspective. So thank you for bringing that. And also back to the grassroots, you know, while we train, we talked about training, Dr. Narendra said the young people, but what about training the teachers themselves to train the young other people? I think a lot of these have opening up doors for future larger discussions. So thank you so much. I think we need to little bit hurry, because I think I got a warning that we've got another few minutes left. So I'm sure our colleagues here will expand, get us some extension of some more time, because there are more interesting questions. Good. So Manisha, this is a follow-up. This is, I think, related to what Neha mentioned. And I think, Neha, thank you also for bringing a lot of social insights to today's discussion, because I think that's very, very important. So I think a lot of that stuff which you talked about has a lot of social implications. So thank you so much. So Manisha, this is a question which is very, very relevant. And again, what Neha has mentioned is, the question is, Infosys Foundation has a very deep experience in education and skilling for the masses. I know your Springboard is a wonderful platform. I mean, and and the projects which are doing currently to the foundation through various agencies to skill people. I think you're looking at it to take it to the masses. So the question is, in your view, what is the most effective way to build AI readiness at a foundation level in colleges and other low resource institutions? We are now flipping from what Dr. Narendra mentioned, skilling young people, we understand we need to do, to say, can we build the capacity of those institutions which will skill the students, of course, to a new curriculum change. So what is the most effective way? And there's so much to do out there.
I think the first thing that we have to do is embrace AI and remove all the negativity or the voodoo that we have about AI, that it's going to impact us negatively. Actually, it's going to impact us with multiple ways, very, very positively, including job creation, including increasing the value that we deliver when we are working. So it's a very big advantage to human beings that we will have AI as we move forward. And when it comes to preparing the students or preparing the human beings, I would say we have to trust and we to embed the thought process that it's not important to learn one subject, it is important to learn, because if you are going to teach something about AI or a model or a particular tool to the individuals, it may be obsolete in next 1 year or maybe sooner than that.
Very
So
correct.
let's not go big on just talking about, okay, this, like in computers we had one language, right? So one tool or chat GPT or anything, any one. Instead of that, we need to tell people that AI is here for good. It is our kind of assistant, or it's our supporter. It's going to help us, and it's easy to learn AI. That's important, right? AI by itself, by the nature of AI, it is not too complex to learn it. It is not too complex to adopt it. That's how it is designed. It's just the open mind that is needed, and ability to experiment, ability to very quickly learn. And even learning AI is actually, if you ask me, not too difficult. Chat GPT, how much time does it require?
Correct. I completely understand.
Anthropic, you can just sit and do this coding through it. So it's easy. Let's not make it a big ticket item. Let's not make a monster out of AI. All the AI tools which we will be using in future, we won't even know that we have to learn them actually. Did you learn to use Google AI? No, it just happens automatically. It pops up and it says, okay, can I help you? And it gives you outcome even before you ask, it is giving. So most of the tools that AI has are very intuitive and easy to use. We don't have to spend enormous amount of time in learning a specific tool, but keep the open mind, consider it as a positive thing that is coming to our life, which is going to enrich our life. Be open to learning. That's the point.
So I think, Manisha, you touched upon a point which we resonate with in Magic Bus very well, and again through our own experience. I think yeah, I have. I think for the layman, not the techies, I think the biggest resistance to change is fear. And I guess if you overcome fear, you will be able to adopt fast. We've seen this in the young people whom we work with day in and day out. And that is our key pillar to say, how do you remove fear to speak English? How do you remove fear to start using AI? And that's the program we are doing. And if you are able to create that positive environment to say it is nothing which you can not do and understand, they become better than us and you and me. And we've seen this. And the classic is there are young people here who haven't heard AI, but they have created AI use cases for farmers and whatnot. I think it's amazing. And I think that's the best part of AI. It's just a tool. And if we know how to use prompts to feed and get it to learn, it'll give you the output. And I think the next level is how do we ensure that we use AI ethically, because AI can also give biases. So I guess you have rightly said it. There is a hype, but if we are able to say that it is something which everybody can use and it does many things on its own, I think it will become a part of our daily life. And that's what you are saying. It's a simple thing. Yes, for the techies, it's a different job. They have to create these models and build the systems. But for the masses, it's a simple productivity tool. And I guess there is a lot easy to wear. And how do you only then start becoming better to sweat it out in that manner? And that is through prompt engineering, which I think is the keystone to what Magic Bus does. And I think we completely resonate with you on this. So thank you so much. I think we have a few minutes left, so I'm going to sweat that also out from all of you. You've traveled on from various places. So it's a quick 2 minutes question, and I'm going to read it out, and I think we'll start with Nupur and just do that 2 minutes. Otherwise, people will start, pointing and saying close up. If you have to pick one intervention that will make India AI ready talent at scale a true reality in the next 2 to 3 years, which would it be? Curriculum reform in education institution, apprenticeships, industry-led certification, faculty training. Yeah, just one word.
Is that for me?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
start.
So I would say I would not pick one. I would take all. I
Oh.
think we need to do all of them
like
together
that.
because I don't think that one in isolation is going to impact everything. Because I
Okay.
think what we are facing is a very structural ecosystem issue, as you rightly said. If the teachers and the student at the school level, in the college level, is not familiarized today, then you're just adding a layer later after the person is sort
Yeah.
of passed out. So I think it's all, and we should do all of them
Wonderful.
immediately.
I love that. Yeah, Dr. Narendra.
I think, yeah, it's a good idea if we can do all, but there would be resource constraints, obviously. So if I were to pick one to be more focused, I would pick on the apprenticeship part. Because
Wonderful.
once you have a good
Wonderful.
guru who is able to train, as has been mentioned, that look, AI tools are not great things to learn, they're fine, but what is more important is the foundational skills to be able to critically think, to be able to subsequently apply this knowledge in how do you put it into a domain, how are you able to write a prompt well. Unless you understand your domain, you can't write a prompt very well.
Yes.
So
it's
that's
integral.
necessary to have a good domain understanding, then to be able to judge properly. So all these things, I think they learn very well from an expert. From Therefore, I think apprenticeship is the most
Wonderful.
important thing that I would focus on.
I like that. Apprenticeship. One word. Yeah.
Yeah, I will go with Dr. Narendra. Even apprentice is always choice because the best learning happen on the job.
Yeah. When you apply something. Yeah.
Correct. And it also create a job opportunity when you are
Yeah.
learning
Good
something.
point.
It immediately provide you the employability also.
So we have 2 votes plus half vote on apprenticeship.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a cusp. I completely agree with Nupur that you can't do it alone, but for the interest of picking, I'll go with apprenticeship. And my one-line answer will be, let's pick something which is not happening already. And I think that's the weakest section in our entire supply chain right now. And if it is done in the right way and the strongest, that's
Wonderful.
where the results will come.
Wonderful. Manisha.
I think if we're talking about masses, we have to ensure that there's infrastructure, software, hardware,
Yes.
people. All this, no, I don't know why not too many people mention it, because once they get their hands dirty, they'll be able to get the confidence that I can do it, and then there are
Absolutely.
wonders
Absolutely.
that can happen.
Jayant, you are a part anyway.
Okay, thank you, Arun.
Yeah. Sitting
So
around with
I
us.
agree with everyone, but I think I think really good points actually. You can't contest what Nupur said and what Dr. Narendra
Yeah.
said.
Each one has their own.
But I think if you really look at AI, I think see, we have 600 odd million or whatever people who are from the marginalized communities, right? Whatever 400
Yes.
or 600,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We need to have AI for the masses. Right now, AI is made by the elite for the elite.
Yes.
It thinks like one of us. It has
Right.
to have those living contexts.
There it is.
So absolutely. So it has to have that. So I think that's what is really required.
Wonderful.
Because you have to have the people who are unincluded have to be included.
Yes.
The most distant also have to be included in that.
So thank you. So with this, I think the panel comes to an end. Before I formally close it, I think my task is to say what is that single thread which all of us spoke about in this panel, and I think I would say that's an optimism. I think it is, all of us are optimists that AI is an opportunity, and it's a great time for the country and our citizens to adopt it. And I think there is a strong thing that every section of the community of our citizens, we will find a way to get them to be a part of this opportunity. And this is a strong sense I'm getting. It's not going to be easy, but we have done that in the past. We have a strong mobile phone adaptation, data adaptation, financial literacy adaptation. So there have been a lot of leapfrogs which we have done globally. I think this will be another leapfrog we will do, and that's the sense I am getting from this panel. So again, on behalf of Magic Bus, want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming here. Even the Delhiites have to struggle to come to this Bharat Mandapam. For every one of you, I know you're all very busy schedules to come here, and I think the live audience who are there, thank you for joining this audience. I hope you've got this panel, you've got a lot of insights, and thank you for joining us. This panel just doesn't end here. There are a lot of insights here. We will, as Magic Bus, work on it, collate it, come back to you, to a larger ecosystem players, to see how we can contribute to make AI the most global force, and hence, have that pathway towards Viksit Bharat. So thank you everyone, and for the organizers here, I finished on time, right? So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. We need to take a photo. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think photographers are also not available as much here. They say water is also not available, but we proved wrong. So can someone take a photo with our mobiles, please? I will be here. Yes, fine. Yeah. So we don't have official photographers. I can also come. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much. Manisha, thank you so much. Dr. Narendra, thank you so much. Nupur, thank you so much.